Let's talk about Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans. They're coming off a very good win over the Houston Texans. They won this game 32-27. But I want to talk about the entire season so far with Will Levis and why he is still a major concern and why they should stick with him for at least one more season. Yeah, you heard that correctly. I'm saying that the Tennessee Titans should stick with Will Levis for at least one more year. Continue to build on this offensive line and even bring in another wide receiver if you have to. Now, Will Levis on the season has 10 passing touchdowns to 9 interceptions. Those are not good numbers for any quarterback in the NFL, but we have to add in context here. This offensive line has been abysmal from last season and also this season, and Will Levis has missed time due to a shoulder injury. Now, do I believe Will Levis looks like a franchise quarterback right now? No, but it's a lot of things that you can build on. For one, the reason why I believe that they should hold on to Will Levis for at least one more year, no matter who your quarterback is, whether you bring in Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, Quinn Ewers, whoever. And I believe Will Levis right now is better than all those quarterbacks. This offensive line is so bad, no quarterback is going to be able to operate behind this type of line. You look at Peter Skoronski, very good player. He was the best offensive lineman on the team last season, and last season he was a rookie. This is still a young football player. This is just year number 2. He's going to continue to get better with Coach Callahan being his offensive line coach. You look at J.C. Latham at the left tackle position. He has shown a lot of good flashes this season. It's some ugly points also, but he's a rookie. Give him time. And it usually takes tackles a long time to develop in the NFL. It may take you 2 to 3 years. Some tackles, they come straight out the gate. Year 1, they're bona fide superstars. Some tackles, it takes them some time. But right now, J.C. Latham doesn't look like a bust. He has shown a lot of potential, especially over the last 2 to 3 weeks. He did have some struggles against the Houston Texans, but that's against one of the best fronts in all of football. Give him time. Cushenberry at the center position. He's missed the last couple of weeks. He tore his Achilles many weeks ago. He's going to miss the rest of the season. This is the thing with Cushenberry. Bring him back. You could possibly go out there in free agency and bring in some more interior offensive linemen for depth purposes. I would do that. But last season, he was a top center in the NFL. Over 900 snaps played, allowed only 1 sack, and he was one of the best run blockers at that position. I think that there's still potential there with Cushenberry. He is a veteran, but give him some time. I'm not 100% sold on him because of the Achilles injury, but with Coach Callahan steering the ship, he may be able to get the best out of him. And we've seen what Coach Callahan has been able to do in the past when he's been the offensive line coach. I've seen him go to teams that have had bottom 5 offensive lines, and within the next 3 to 4 years, they have a top 5 offensive line. And I'm not saying the Tennessee Titans are going to have a top 5 unit next season. Usually, offensive lines take a long time to develop in the NFL. Look at the Detroit Lions right now. It took them many years to develop that offensive line, and the same with the Baltimore Ravens. Just because you select guys in the first round does not mean they're going to pan out in year 1 or year 2. You have to be patient with them. You just hope that they can go out there and develop over time. So the top 3 positions on the offensive line, I think they're solidified with J.C. Latham, Peter Skoronski, and even Cushenberry. I know he had a lot of bad moments, but just give him some more time, and hopefully he can stay healthy next year. And if he can't, you can move off of him, even though you just brought him in this free agency period. The right guard and right tackle position, that is what I'm worried about the most, especially the right tackle position. When you have Nicholas Petit-Frere starting games for you, you're in trouble. He's not even a good backup tackle, let alone a starting tackle on a consistent basis. He's terrible. That's right, Leroy Watson is starting right now. And you may say, hey, you're giving Nicholas Petit-Frere a bad rep. Actually, I'm not. Majority of the pressure is coming off of his side when he's been the starting offensive lineman, not just from this season, but also from last season. And you did have Jalen Duncan come in. He started some games last year. He played some games this year before he got injured. Right now, he's on IR. He's not a good player either at the tackle position. He may be a very good swing tackle moving forward. And you have Leroy Watson right now. He's not a very good right tackle on a consistent basis. He's better than Nicholas Petit-Frere, and he's better than Jalen Duncan. But at the same time, that's not elite level competition that he's going against. Going to the first round or through free agency, more likely you're going to find your star in the NFL draft because it's so hard to find true, very good offensive linemen in free agency, especially at the tackle position. It's a premium. Go through the NFL draft in the first round, draft you another right tackle, and continue to build this line around Will Levis. And I think that you could possibly have something. At that point, you're going to have a true answer on who Will Levis really is. Now, right now, currently, we're having a lot of problems trying to figure things out with Will Levis. And I mean this on a film point perspective. When I go back and I watch film on Will Levis, it's a lot of head scratching moments that make me want to say, put in Mason Rudolph. Then I realize Mason Rudolph is not going to be the long-term answer with the Tennessee Titans. It's just me being impatient because Will Levis has shown a lot of good, but he's also shown boneheaded plays like this against the Chicago Bears. For context here, they had the Chicago Bears dead to rights in week 1. They will win this game if it was not for this pick six. Will Levis trying to throw the football away. It goes for a pick six. You gave the team a free touchdown. And if it wasn't for a special teams debacle on the Tennessee Titans end, that's how the Chicago Bears won that game. Caleb Williams only had 95 passing yards, and they did an amazing job of stopping the run. Will Levis essentially gave them a free touchdown and helped them win this game. And it may sound like I'm being unfair here, but you cannot have those type of moments if you're going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. And look, it happens to the best of them. We've seen elite level quarterbacks go out there and have plays similar to this, but Will Levis has to be better in this situation. He was trying to throw the football away, but you had to spike it into the ground. He learned that a couple weeks later, and I wish that he would have did that in this particular matchup. What you see right now is against the New York Jets. They're in the red zone. You could walk away with 3 points at the worst, or even better, a touchdown. But Will Levis has another major turnover. You give the ball back to the New York Jets. And the Tennessee Titans will lose this game by 6 points. So you can make the case that Will Levis cost his team 2 football games. At the end of the day, it is a team game. But with how the defense has played all season long, you can't have these type of bonehead mistakes. He's a young player. He's in year number 2. Grow and develop with him, sure. And this was the game where Coach Callahan, he took his headset off. He was visibly upset. He was all in Will Levis's face. And Will Levis looked at the tablet and he was like, okay, I see what you're saying. I fully understand. And you look at this right here, back to week 1 against the Chicago Bears. He throws a game-sealing pick. This could be a potential game-winning drive, but he throws an interception. You could say the offensive line was bad here, but Will Levis makes a terrible read. Will Levis has to be better in tight situations. And he's had an interception in every game that he started in this year, except for 1. That is not good. 10 passing touchdowns, 9 interceptions. That's not going to cut it in the NFL. And I can see if the interceptions was bouncing off the wide receiver hands, or he throws it in a 50-50 situation and the cornerback comes down with the ball instead of the wide receiver. That's not the case. A lot of his turnovers are just on him. The positive side of that, you could coach that out of him. The negative side is going to be hard as hell to coach that out of him. We've seen quarterbacks deal with turnover problems like this before. Jameis Winston, he deals with problems like this. And you see what Jameis Winston is in the NFL. He's regarded as just a backup quarterback. But Will Levis has potential. He has a big arm. He has great deep accuracy moving down the field. And he has very good athleticism. You also look at this play against the Houston Texans. He throws a pick six at Jimmy Ward. You can't have these type of plays. You're giving teams free points. You're giving them free touchdowns when your defense has worked hard the entire game. And trust me, we're about to get to the positives. Right now, I'm saying a lot of negative things about Will Levis. It's a lot of positive things over the last few weeks because he has played better in the last 2 to 3 games. But this pick six right here, you can't have that to Jimmy Ward. Just the play before, the Tennessee Titans walked away with an interception from C.J. Stroud. And as soon as you touch the field, you give the ball right back to him. And then you give him a free touchdown. And then there's also plays like this against the Minnesota Vikings, one of the best defenses in the NFL. Back of the red zone, setting pressure up front, throws a complete dime to Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, who has been amazing since they traded DeAndre Hopkins to the Kansas City Chiefs. He's been a very good wide receiver, especially in the red zone. It has blazing speed. I have been very surprised that Nick Westbrook-Ikhine has looked this good. And I'm very happy for him because they were hoping that Treylon Burks would be the wide receiver to step up. But instead, it has been Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. This play went for 98 yards. This is the longest play in terms of going out there and getting a touchdown in the NFL this year. And I don't think anyone else is going to match this play. You also look at this situation against the Houston Texans. Goes out there to Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. It's blown coverage, but Will Levis sees it. He recognizes it, something that he could not do against the Chicago Bears or against the New York Jets. He's going through his progressions. Fade ball to Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, goes for a touchdown. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine has 6 receiving touchdowns. He has been a red zone machine over the last few weeks, and you love to see that. This is a very good play right here to Chig Okongwu. a very good read. Chika Congo does majority of the work, but at the same time, you just want to see Will Levis go out there and make easy decisions and make easy layups because he makes life so hard for himself. Remember that play they had against the New York Jets where he just made life hard on himself? Now he's making life easy. Just take the easy read, get the football to Chika Congo, and let him do the rest for you. This went for a beautiful touchdown. And this play right here to Calvin Ridley went for a huge gain. So there's a lot of positives with Will Levis. I'm not saying throw him away and put in Mason Rudolph. We saw Mason Rudolph play a couple of games this season when Will Levis was dealing with a shoulder injury. He didn't look that good. I understand they had a great moment. Him and Calvin Ridley had a great moment against the Detroit Lions in the first half. Then everything after that went to hell. He has gotten Calvin Ridley involved more. You have Nick Westbrook-Akine out there. He looks like a true number 2 wide receiver. You have Chika Congo at the tight end spot. And you have Tony Pollard at the running back spot. The skill positions are locked down. It just comes down to the offensive line and Will Levis. And I do believe that Coach Callahan, the head coach, he's going to be a very good head coach moving forward with the Titans. He's young. Let him figure things out. But you just can't go out there and throw away Will Levis and bring in another quarterback. You did that with Malik Willis. And I'm going to continue to say this. Malik Willis was never going to have a bright future with the Tennessee Titans because of the way that this team is constructed. And they did not have the wide receivers out there to go out and help the kid. There's a lot of Tennessee Titans fans who are saying, hey, what if we would have kept Malik Willis, especially when the Green Bay Packers, when they went out there and they defeated the Tennessee Titans with Malik Willis at the helm. It was just a different time then. I think Will Levis has more upside than Malik Willis in the NFL as a traditional passer inside the pocket. He just had to tone down on those interceptions. And you look at quarterbacks like Jordan Love, he's dealt with an interception problem this season. Every game that he started in, except for one, he's throwing an interception in, similar to Will Levis. And I'm not trying to compare Will Levis to Jordan Love. They're just gunslingers. You'll see a lot of good things from Will Levis. He reminds you of a young Brett Favre. And then you look at other plays when it's like, man, this guy is Jameis Winston 2.0. I think that's the floor with Will Levis, him being a Jameis Winston type of quarterback on the field. And the upside can be a Brett Favre type quarterback, a guy that can be a top 5 to top 10 quarterback on a consistent basis. Right now, this is a lost season for the Tennessee Titans because their offensive line is so bad and Will Levis is so sporadic. But when I look at this defense, this is a playoff-ready defense. This defense can go out there and they can give you problems with T'Vondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons, he can get after your quarterback. 4 sacks on the season, 2 forced fumbles. He's eating up double teams and he's constantly in the lap of the quarterback. You also have Harold Landry, 6 sacks on the season. He's been a very good pass rusher and a very good run stopper. And I'm glad they did not trade him at the trade deadline. You have a Money Hooker. Money Hooker is a very good safety. He's one of the better safeties in the NFL in terms of man and zone coverage. 2 forced fumbles on the season, 3 interceptions, and 7 pass deflections. And I look at the rest of the secondary. They're very good. Obviously, L'Jarius Sneed's on IR right now, but before he got injured, he did not look good. And that's very upsetting. I understand that it's a different scheme they're trying to run with him than the Kansas City Chiefs did, but they made a trade to bring in L'Jarius Sneed, and they paid him a lot of money. Hopefully, he can play better moving forward. They have good players on the defensive side of the ball, and they have a very good defensive coordinator. They figure out this offense, figure things out with Will Levis, and I hope that he can be their franchise quarterback moving forward because in the next few years, this division can be up for grabs. Look at the Houston Texans right now with CJ. They're struggling, and you just defeated that team. The Jacksonville Jaguars right now with Trevor Lawrence, they've had success in the past, but they've been struggling over the last few years since they were dealing with injuries from last season. They went from being 8-3. Look at them right now. And then you also look at another situation with the Indianapolis Colts. They're still trying to develop Anthony Richardson. I like the quarterbacks in this division. You have CJ, you have Trevor Lawrence, you have Will Levis, you have Anthony Richardson. All 4 of these quarterbacks are still young into their career. This can be a very fun division moving forward. And I really wish that Will Levis did not have those turnovers against the New York Jets and the Chicago Bears because those are 2 very pivotal games. If you have those in your back pocket, you could possibly make it a playoff push right now, especially with this win over the Houston Texans. But hindsight, it is what it is. I wish the best with Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans moving forward. It's a lot of work to be done. It's still a lot of development for Will Levis to go through, but stick with this kid for one more season. Don't just throw him away for a quarterback in the first round. But let me know in the comment section below how you guys feel about this. Should the Tennessee Titans stick with Will Levis for one more season, or should they move on from Will Levis in your opinion? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.